Greetings everyone, it's Ben from Lights and Gear, and today I have Acebeam to talk about. Acebeam asked me to test out one of their newer lights, which is a single AA light. I just got a chance to have a look at it recently. I like it. It's the Rider RX, and it's kind of unique in that it is advertised as kind of like a fidget flashlight for people who like to, fidget. And Acebeam is a good name with a lot of nice lights in their back catalog and so forth. So anyway, I thought, what the heck, and it's a pretty cool little light. So this is the Rider RX EDC flashlight. Not very big, only about 3.5–4 inches long. It's a AA flashlight, but it does come with its own rechargeable 14500 battery, which is a nice touch, because a lot of AA flashlights often won't go high enough on the voltage to use a 3.7 volt lithium, but this light does, which will get the output to about 650 lumens on the high mode, at least for a couple of minutes. It will also accept standard batteries, like a standard alkaline AA and one of these rechargeable NIMH it'll take as well. But we'll talk about that in due course here. So this is the flashlight out of the box. Here is the manual, by the way, which I didn't get put back in. So inside you have a lanyard here, or a wrist strap, or whatever you want to call that. There's a USB charging cable, USB-C, because the battery they furnish is USB-C rechargeable. Nice touch. And here is the flashlight. Oh yeah, there's also this little packet here with a couple of spare O-rings. So here's your light. And if you go on the Acebeam website, they talk about it being an entertaining light for fidgeting with. And the process of fidgeting with it, or if you want to use it as that kind of a tool, the process to fidget is the same process as taking out and replacing the battery. So in due course here I will explain all that. But it's a nice looking flashlight. It's kind of different with these little visible areas here. I'm not quite sure what it is. I guess it's the flashlight itself, I suppose, underneath the encasement here is actually blue, and this comes in several colors. I think it's maybe 5 colors that it comes in. This is kind of like a gray shade, which I specifically chose, but there's blue and there's a multicolor and there's like a silverish color. But as I say, if you check out the website, you'll see the other colors it comes in. So I chose this gray color since, I don't know, I kind of like it, and it goes with a lot of the other lights I have. This pocket clip is what is very, very sturdy, I should say, and I believe it is also reversible, but you would have to undo or take out the screws here in order to do that. And I'm not exactly sure how that would work if it was reversed, because as I say, this is the process of fidgeting and replacing the battery is to move the clip. So, and this arrow right here is what explains what you're supposed to, basically explains what you're supposed to do with the clip, to actually move it down and then pull the whole thing forward like that, push it forward. So that's the basic movement right there. That's the fidget, is to do this with it. They say on the Acebeam site that it will take some time for this to sort of work in, whereas it might seem a little bit stiff, I suppose, at first. And that's the way I find it, because I don't know, I haven't got the coordination right. I haven't got the coordination properly yet to actually be able to do it. You're supposed to be able to do it with one hand, as far as I know, but I don't seem to have the coordination to be able to do that with one hand. I kind of need my other hand to kind of help in pushing the clip up, but that's me. So as I say, it's a very nice, attractive looking light. Here is the LED. It's a Nichia LED, so it has a nice color to it, a nice color temperature, and it also has a very nice smooth look as far as the beam pattern is concerned. The switch is on the bottom, and it's actually tactical as well. You can just lightly give it a tap and turn the light on for momentary use. If you keep tapping it, it'll just cycle through all the modes. But if you're just turning it on and turning it off, now see, actually what's happened now is it's gone into SOS. It has like an ultra low, low, medium, and high mode, and then includes SOS as well. That if you just keep tapping it a bunch of times and go through the cycling about, well, pretty much twice, if you like cycle through the whole thing twice, it automatically goes into SOS, and that's what happened there as I was demonstrating the modes. All you do is tap it like this, and then click it to lock the mode in, and then of course click it to turn it off. And let me turn the light off here in a second to show you the beam. But anyway, that's the basic operation of it. I mean, you can just turn it on and turn it off, obviously, at any given time. And it has a very nice beam. It'll also tail stand too. You might not think that because of the protruding switch here that it won't tail stand, but it will. You just have to do it carefully and a little bit slowly. But you see, it tail stands fine if you just put it down nicely and gently and just leave it. It'll tail stand very well. Let me turn the light off here, so I'll show you this beam. I think we may be either at medium or high here at the moment. And if you can make out on the camera, it is a nice clean beam with a nice spill on it and a nice center spot. It's about 5000 K, I believe, the color, so it's kind of like a neutral tint. So if I run through the modes here, so here is ultra low, and this looks much brighter on the camera lens than it actually does in front of me on the wall. So this would be low, and here's medium, and here's high. And then press it again, and it goes back to ultra low. In a second here, I'll show you a few of the shots that I took outside with it. But it is a very simple to operate light, and on the 14500 battery has a nice power to it, especially on high. If you're interested in looking at the outputs on the 14500 battery, it's supposed to be about 650 lumens, but that's only for 2 minutes, and then it does an automatic step down after that. If you're on either a standard alkaline or an NIMH battery, that high output is only 200 lumens. So 650 for the 14500 to 200 for the others is a sizable dip, if it, but there's no particular reason not to use the battery they give you, unless you're in a pinch and the battery's run out of charge and you need to do something quickly. Then of course you can use a standard battery or whatever. So let's do that process here of showing that. So you move the clip to the left, more or less, or towards you if you're in your right hand here, and then, as I said before, push this forward, and you can obviously tell it's forward because now the button on the bottom has recessed into the body, and the head of the light is now protruding out the front. Now, the other thing about the manual is they don't explain how to do this. They don't explain how to change the battery, and it took me a few minutes to figure it out. So the head is out, so then this screws off or untwists or loosens at this point. Voila. So there you go, your electronics inside the head, and here's the battery in here. It's a 920 mAh 14500, and it is USB rechargeable. So if I take not the cord they give you, but another similar USB-C and plug that in, you will see that immediately you get a red light. You can see the red light here on top shows that it's charging, and then when that's finished it'll turn green. And then replace the head and put it back into the light and move the clip back over into the lock position. Let's show you those outdoor pics that I took, and let's see what it does outside in the darkness of the night. There are some additional photos and additional indoor pics on my website at lightsandgear.com. You can follow the link in the description. And if you'd like to pick one of these up, you can certainly do so at Amazon. And again, the Acebeam Rider RX is a very nifty little light. They kind of market it as like for stress relief and that kind of thing. Relieving stress if you're just sitting around fidgeting somewhere, or waiting for something to happen, or waiting for whatever. Any place where you're sitting and wondering what to do while you're waiting, this is something you can, of course, fidget with if you can eventually figure out how to do this with one hand, or use two hands if you want. But as I say, they do say that this is supposed to get a little looser, or a little smoother, I guess, over time, but I haven't found that yet. So the actual fidgeting part of the light could be very useful for some people, and maybe for others not so useful. That's for you to decide whether it's something that intrigues you or not. It's a great light anyway, even if you don't want to fidget with it. Just use it as a flashlight as you would. So again, the Acebeam Rider RX. Leave me questions or comments if you want to talk about it here, or visit my written review at lightsandgear.com. Hope you've liked the video, and we'll talk to you next time, and take it easy. Thanks for watching. Have a good night, or have a good day. Bye-bye.